Hi, Samantha. Hello. Hi, Samantha. Hello.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Samantha Uncut, where I discuss celebrity news, hot topics, reality TV, and so much more. All commentary is alleged and in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. Hey, everyone. I hope you all are having an amazing morning, evening, or afternoon, wherever you are. I'm back with another video for the Real Housewives of Atlanta episode 8 review, ahead of tonight's episode 9. I don't know what it is, guys, but I'm finding it very hard to kind of like get into the recap of Real Housewives. I don't know what it is, but something is off. And for me, I just find it so hard to kind of like get into the review and get excited about the review of it. I guess because of the foolishness that is happening, and like there's just so much like nonsense, and I just feel like I'm over it. But I'm going to try to get through the review because I am actually wanting to watch tonight's episode to see how everything is unfolding while they're still on the girls trip. So let's get into this episode 8 review ahead of tonight's episode. But before we get into that, y'all know what to do. Please like, share, and comment on this video, and follow me on my social media platforms at Samantha Uncut on Instagram and Samantha.uncut on TikTok. All information will be listed in the description bar as usual, so you can check there for any further information that you may need. So episode 8, it started out with Britt and Mike, who Britt is talking to Mike on a video call and letting him know what's basically happening at the girls trip, where Angela is advocating for Drew to come, and that Angela rubbed her the wrong way while they were at the peace brunch. And at this point, like I've said in my previous reviews, I'm over Britt, because at this moment she is itching at this moment to have a problem with Angela, and I really don't see it for Britt at all. Like at all. I could really do without her and her husband. I mean, moving on. Like it's just there's such a non-factor for me that I could really do without her. And then you have Shamia, who back home, Gerald is taking care of their kids, and their daughter, she has a I think it was Shiloh that has a ear infection, and Gerald is handling everything for her while she's on the girls trip. And you know, Shamia is saying that Gerald is such an amazing dad and husband, and he has never like allowed her to handle things by herself or struggle by herself. So she wants to be able to give him a son, because he's so deserving, because he's such a good partner and he's such a good dad. And I get it from Shamia's point of view, where she wants to be able to please her husband and provide him with that son who is going to eventually carry on his legacy, his name. But at the same time, Shamia needs to understand that if her body is not responding to certain things, then she has to take it easy on her body and maybe try to find other alternatives in bringing forth a son. But at the same time, I understand where she's coming from as a woman, as a wife, and wanting to just give everything to her husband, especially when he's being such a good husband and partner and father to their children. So that exchange with Shamia and her husband, it kind of made her sad a little bit and tear up. But what I really noticed about this, when she ended the phone call with Gerald and she went in to talk to Portia, she did not bring it to the group to say, you know, she just got off the phone and she heard that her daughter has an ear infection and she's worried or anything like that. And I thought it was very strange that she wouldn't have that conversation with her best friend or with the group, more so with her best friend Portia. But maybe she did have that conversation and they just cut it out and we didn't see it. But I thought it was very interesting that, you know, she's going through such a tough time, or like a tough time emotionally, especially when it comes to her children, and that is not a conversation that is had with Portia about what she's going through. And then next up we have Angela, who's having a conversation with Cynthia by the pool, where she's talking to her about Drew working with Dennis. And I'm so sick of this conversation, guys. Like, legit, I'm sick of this conversation, because at this point, people are really trying to have this big issue with Drew working with Dennis, and literally Drew is being professional with Dennis. And as from the preview that we saw from the trailer, the mid-season trailer, we saw that there are conversations that are gonna be had with Ralph and Portia that are inappropriate. And I don't care what no one wants to say, the conversation is inappropriate, and it's not the same thing with Drew working with Dennis, because Drew is not working with Simon, who is Portia's husband, or being inappropriate with Simon, or being inappropriate with Dennis. So this conversation that Cynthia and Angela is having is very redundant, and I'm over it. But Cynthia wants to let it be known that Drew should have told Portia that she's working with Dennis, and that she's filming with Dennis, and that, you know, baby daddies hit different. Cynthia, your daughter is like almost close to her 30s, maybe, I think, but she's in her 20s. I'm pretty sure she's in her 20s. So Leon, I'm pretty sure, has had other women outside of you. I don't know if Leon has other children, but Cynthia, please, like, come on now. It's just not the same thing. And I can't believe people are putting husbands and baby daddies on the same spectrum. Like, it's just not the same thing. And we all know that production is the one that wants Drew on the girls trip. We know how these reality TV operate. And not only that, how many times Drew gotta say that she spoke to Portia about working with Dennis? Like, it's just so redundant, the conversation about Portia having an issue with Drew, because it's just not necessary. It is not necessary at all. And Portia is just mad at her situation with Simon, and that she can't film in her home, and she can't film or talk about her divorce, and she just wants to find another target. And the easiest target is Drew, even though Drew is going through her own situation with Ralph, a very contentious situation at that. So I would even expect for Portia to have some kind of sympathy and understanding to Drew based on what she is going through with Simon, and the literal similarities between what Drew is going through with Ralph. But no, nobody wants to give Drew any break. People just want to have an issue with her working with Dennis. Like, everybody needs to get a grip. So Drew ended up arriving to the house in Nashville, and she said that her and Portia, they have been friends for years, so she wants to come and be mature, extend another olive branch, and the host wasn't there to greet her. Do you know how insulting that is, to attend somebody's birthday or whatever? I get it. Okay, she wasn't invited directly by Portia, but like, you knew she was coming. So if you really wanted to be mature about the situation, then you could have been there to greet her. And not only that, Britt nor Kelly greeted her when she walked into the room. I don't know if it's the editing, but you see Britt on the phone, looked over at her, and you see Kelly looking over to see what's going on, like, who is there. The only person that greeted her was Angela. And it's just already she's already walking into a situation where it's uncomfortable, and it seems like she is just not wanted or not needed, and they are just trying their best to kind of like isolate her, and the only person that is welcoming to her is Angela. Sorry, I said the only person that greeted her was Angela, but it was actually Cynthia that greeted her, and then she went upstairs to talk to Angela, because Angela was getting her makeup done. done. So when she went upstairs to talk to Angela, Angela tells her that, maybe she should talk to Portia because it would kind of take a little bit of the heat off of her because she's been getting some heat about inviting her, and said, Angela said that now that Drew is there in her confessional, she said now that Drew is here, and thinking back, she would have still invited Drew because she doesn't give AF. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Angela, because who gonna check you? Who is gonna check you? Like, she is just standing on business, and Drew deserves to be at the girls trip. I don't understand what people are not getting. This is a girls trip and it's a cast trip. So all the cast members are going to be at this trip. I mean, like, if you have Portia inviting her extras wishes to her friends, then why wouldn't Drew be there? And it's a cast trip. They're all getting paid to be at work. So Portia finally sees Drew and they hug. Portia said that she will be good and there will be no drama. And she was being pleasant towards Drew. And I was very surprised because Portia has been on Angela's behind about inviting Drew to this trip, but now she sees Drew, she hugs her, she says she will be good and there will be no drama, no one is going to ruin her birthday. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's see how this turns out. And that whole hugging was very short-lived because on the sprinter to the whiskey tasting and bartending, so everyone went to an event. So there was the whiskey tasting and the bartending event. And on the sprinter, Shamia was crying because she found out that so we found out that Shamia was married before. I didn't know that she was married before. And allegedly in her previous marriage, her ex-husband was being her, and it was a DV situation. And when she spoke out about her experience, there was a lady that did not believe her, and the lady had texted her that day to validate her experience and apologize to her for not believing her. So that kind of brought up some memories for her, I guess. I don't know why, because this was in 2000 and she got married in like 2005, I think she said it was. So this was very out of place for me. I don't know what kind of editing they're doing, but this whole story was a little bit out of place. And on top of that, she was feeling some kind of way about, Shiloh, her daughter, who is sick as well. And then they started talking about, Cynthia started talking about her experience with her mom experiencing DV as well. And then they had the flashback to Kenya's DV event. And I'm just like, this situation is so out of place. Like, there was nothing else to talk about on the sprinter. Why are we talking about this? It was very out of place for me. It was out of place for me because I feel like Shamia's storyline is kind of now all over the place. Like, so much was given in the first episode, and now her storyline is like all over the place and is getting lost in the midst of everything that is happening between Drew and Portia, Angela, and the rest of the girls. And then you have Britt and Kelly. Like, I feel like her story is just getting lost and there's no clear line to Shamia's story anymore. And there's just so many moving parts of it that the production can't really fit everything in. So they try to drop like little pieces here and there, but it's out of place. That being said, everyone arrived to the whiskey tasting event, and honestly, Portia is such a flip-flopping person that I can't keep up with her. One minute she likes Drew and the next minute she has a problem. So she is talking with Shamia and Kelly over at the Coyote Bar. So all three of them, they went to do the bartending while Britt, Cynthia, and Drew and Angela went to do the whiskey tasting. So Kelly asked her what was up with Portia's friends the night before they were talking about Drew. And Portia basically basically explains that they were asking where she is because they knew that her and Drew are really good friends, and normally Drew would be at her event. But Portia was mad that mad at Angela for inviting Drew. So Portia feels Angela is like setting up Drew and provoking her to have a negative vibe about Drew before she arrived. And I'm just like, girl, what? You've always had a negative energy towards Drew from the beginning of the season. What are you talking about? Angela is setting her up and trying for everyone to have a bad vibe. Y'all have had a bad vibe toward the girl from the beginning. I'm gonna need Portia to just admit what her real issue is with Drew. Just say that, Drew has a better storyline than you. You came back thinking that you were gonna be this big top boss, and you're not. Like, you're being drowned out by the newbies. Everybody is outperforming you, and you're just mad. You're mad at the world, you're mad at Simon, and you're mad at Dennis. So stop taking your ish out on Drew. Like, we're over it. And being over it, like, over the whiskey tasting now, I don't know why I keep saying taste, like tasting, like it's tasting. So you have Angela, who is taking accountability for inviting Drew without Portia's permission, and here comes pistol popping Brit saying that Angela plays the victim. So Angela is like, how do I play the victim? She didn't say but like, she's looking at her like, how do I play the victim? Like, what are you talking about? And pistol popping Brit, she says that Angela is acting oblivious to what's going on. And then she makes it about her and what happened to her at the salon event. I am sick and tired of Brit talking about this salon event. I am so tired. If Kenya is not here anymore, we shouldn't be talking about this salon event anymore. Like, we're done with it. It's over. Kenya is gone. You are here. We don't want to hear about it no more. Like, no, done. I mean, she's gonna say that it felt like people were not being supportive of what she was going through, and that and Angela was like, nah, you are not entitled and to my support, and you feel entitled, and I'm not gonna do that. And of course, Cynthia is going to say that they can't tell Brit how to feel when their pictures wasn't posted on posters for the world to see. And then I'm like, I get it. Yes, it was an embarrassing moment for Brit. I get it. What happened to her, Kenya should not have done that. And in this moment, I can see why Kenya is not really fooling with Cynthia, because Cynthia is doing too much for Brit at this point. And I could literally say, well, if you feel that way, Cynthia, then you can't tell Kenya how to feel when she was threatened with a pistol. And the person that threatened your friend is the same person that you are now comforting and trying to be supportive of. How about you be the same supportive to your friend? And how about you hold Brit accountable for what she has done, just like Angela is trying to hold her accountable, because none of this would have happened if Brit hadn't threatened Kenya. How about we go back to the beginning and stop starting from the middle? But of course, Brit wants to be the center of the conversation and the center of the show. So she started with her waterworks. She started crying and doing the whole manipulation by saying how, how would they feel if their business was being torn down, and Angela and Drew saying that, they could have been somewhere else. This is what's at the peace brunch she's talking about, where Angela was like putting that feet to the fire and saying that she started all of it, and that they could have been somewhere else and not at this peace brunch. But no, Angela is like, no, that was after the fact. After she got rude with Angela, Angela's like, we could have been somewhere else. But I think they didn't air that part, but Brit is bringing that up. And Angela's like, girl, okay, fine. You know what? I am sorry. I'm sorry about what I said to you. I'm sorry for how I was acting. I'm sorry for it all. Because at this point, everyone kind of realized like she's not going to let this go. She's going to be the victim. She's going to play the victim, and she's not going to take any accountability for her part. Like, she does not want to take accountability. I mean, like, Angela apologized, but Britt takes no accountability for what she did. And she just wants to be the center of attention and for Kenya to just be forgotten by the group. And I'm kind of so over her because these were Kenya's friends before they became your cast members or your quote unquote friends. So for her wanting everyone to kind of just forget Kenya and to just be on her side is actually ridiculous. And Britt, you can go too. So Drew even ended up explaining that, you know, we hear you. We're not trying to invalidate your experience, but we're just trying to say like we miss our friend too. And we feel for our friend. So it's not about we're trying to invalidate you or not being supportive of you. It's just that it's a sticky situation. And you know, we're not just going to forget our friend, but we do apologize for how you feel or how we made you feel. So anyways, they all ended up apologizing and decided that they wanted to move forward. Thank God, because I don't want to hear about this salon event anymore. So later on, they went back to the house, and later on that evening, Portia put together this cowboy dinner that she wanted to have with everyone. So she comes downstairs now with a negative attitude, and everyone is asking her what's wrong, and she keeps saying nothing. The whole mood changed when Portia came downstairs, and Portia is draining the group with her bad energy and her bad vibes. Like, she is just so negative. And the reason why she's being negative is because allegedly she got a phone call from someone who told her that Drew was filming with Dennis, and she got pissed off, and she's pissed off at Dennis, but she wants to take it out on Drew because her and Dennis had an arrangement that he would not film with Drew. But at the same time, if he is filming with Drew and this is promotion for his business and for his lounge and whatever like he's doing, wouldn't this be a good thing for him? Wouldn't you want your baby daddy to be making money and to be promoting his business? Like, I'm confused. Guys, I'm very much confused. So Portia is still upset about this, and Portia said that she is disappointed that Dennis chose opportunity over his family. Y'all, Portia is batshit crazy. Like, didn't Portia choose another woman's husband and break up their family for her opportunity at marrying a rich African? Why is Portia acting like she owns Dennis when she's still married and like Dennis is her husband? Like, Pilar is Dennis's family, not Portia. Let me repeat that. Pilar is Dennis's family, not Portia. She is just his baby mother. She's not his wife. She's not his mother. She is his child's mother. Like, Dennis is not her property. And what family did he not choose? He is working with Drew so he can make money to take care of his daughter. What is she not understanding? I'm so over her. And then at the dinner now, Shamia keeps asking Portia what is wrong because her energy is so low and she is just bringing down everyone. She keeps saying that she is fine. So Angela started recapping what the wine tasting event and asked Portia how she is gaslighting or play victim because Britt had mentioned in that scene that Portia shared the same sentiments as Britt because Britt had called Angela as playing a victim and gaslighting. And so Portia replied with a dismissive, I don't remember. And then Britt says to Angela that she invited Drew without permission from Portia. And Angela is like, Portia has never told her Drew is not invited. And then here goes Shamia taking up for Portia by saying that, oh, on the call where Portia invited everyone to the birthday trip, Drew was not on the call. So Angela apologized for offending Portia and by inviting Drew. But also she asked the question that everybody wants to know and why Portia is not being held accountable. So she asked the same question that Kelly asked. Like the rest of us wants to know, why did Portia marry Simon and take that lady's husband? Portia then says to Angela to kiss her ASS. And this is where Angela is the MF MVP. And she came in with the slam dunk. And that is why my title or my thumbnail says Portia fix a flat versus Angela slam dunk Oakley, because Angela said in her confessional, oh, so you want to tell me to kiss your behind? I don't want to kiss a fix a flat. When I tell you that Angela is walking these girls in this season, like she is operating like a vet. Like Angela is coming in hot and I am loving it. I'm here for it because she is doing what a lot of the OGs didn't do, where they did not hold Portia accountable for her actions, and Angela is not having it. So I love it. I am loving it because some of the new girls on the show right now, they're basically Portia's puppets and nobody's trying to hold her really accountable. I mean, Kelly tried to do that in the beginning, but then that fizzled out. So Angela is holding everyone accountable and I am here for it. So they were going back and forth, and then Drew asked Portia if she's okay with her being there because she wasn't necessarily invited by Portia. And Portia again responded to Drew with a dismissive, you straight. Drew is like, you know what, girl, F you and F your nasty attitude. Here's your damn whiskey that I bought for your birthday, and I'm gonna leave because who the F are you talking to? She didn't say all that, but I'm paraphrasing. That's what she should have said to Portia. But she's just like, I don't need this. And so everyone is telling Drew that she should stay except for Portia. And Drew asked if anyone at the table have an issue with her. Like, let's talk about it. No one said anything. So you know what? She just got up and leave and she went upstairs. And then Portia is saying, oh, Drew over here with the dramatic, she doesn't have a problem with Drew. And then Angela with her question, she's just being rude. And it's like, Portia, you are being rude to everyone who is there to celebrate your birthday. And I don't understand why this girl can't see that. Like, her attitude is nasty, mean, and rude. And it's just draining dealing with her. So she got offended and then she went upstairs, and Cynthia went upstairs following behind her to go to talk to her. And then she's there explaining to Cynthia that the divorce is taking a toll on her and her energy wasn't directed to anyone downstairs. Like, girl, you are not the only one going through a divorce. Drew is too, and you have no empathy for her or her situation. You're just being a mean person. And I'm so sick of Portia. So Cynthia is there offering, the big sister advice, and they share a moment where Portia is just thanking her for coming to Nashville to celebrate her birthday and how she was happy that she was there, because while the other girls are fun, it's good to have Cynthia there because Cynthia feels like home. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, Cynthia feels like home, then what is Shamia? Because you've known Shamia all your life, basically all your life before you knew Cynthia. So wouldn't Shamia more feel like home to you than Cynthia? Anyways. Later on, they all were in the pool, twerking, having fun, except for Angela, because Angela's like, I'm not about to mess with these hoes. I'm gonna go to my bed. And yeah. So while they're down there drinking and having a twerking session, Angela then overhears Portia saying that she would F Charles. Portia is disgusting. Like just disgusting. So Angela went down there to check them, and Portia says she didn't see anything, and then she ran off. Then Kelly in her confessionals now confirm that Portia said she better stop before I F her husband. Angela was not having it with the fakery and the disrespect. Even Kelly caught a stray the next morning, because when Angela was headed out to the airport, Kelly went up to her to give her a happy-go-lucky hug, and Angela's like, skirt, back up. Like, I'm not with the fakery. I'm not gonna be fake. Y'all are fake. And Angela says the buck stops here, and that Shamia, Britt, all of them. She said all of them are puppets. And when I tell you that Angela is clocked in, like, I cannot wait to see the rest of the season and how she is going to spar with Phaedra, because she is clocking everyone. And I love it. I love that she's not here for the fakery. I love that she's holding Portia accountable. I don't care what anyone wants to say. Portia is disgusting. To make that comment about somebody's husband with her track record of stealing somebody's husband, like, no, you don't say that. And I cannot believe that the other girls there would not hold her accountable, especially even Shamia wouldn't hold her accountable, because you are married, ma'am. And if Portia would say that about this girl's husband, she'll say it about your husband too. So you should be careful too that she doesn't steal your husband. You know what I mean? Like, Portia is disgusting, and I'm sorry, Portia fans. Y'all, if you think what she said is okay, y'all are no different from her. I'm sorry. It's just my opinion, and it is what it is. But that's all I got for episode 8. Episode 9 is coming on soon, so we'll be back for that. And yeah. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share, and I'll see you guys in my next video.